The latest update on the stimulus package. Some remarks out of Bernie Sanders on the stimulus package. Some voting that's going down later this week. And the government is reaching out to all of us, the American citizens, and trying to recollect $12.9 billion of overpayments. Look out. Anyway, let's get into it and talk about it, as once again, it was another very busy day. And guess what? The day isn't even over yet. I can't even imagine what may come in the final hours of today. Anyway, let's get into it and talk about this important information. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a nice day and a nice week so far. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, subscribe right down below, as it's totally free to do so. And I'm back every single day in a few videos laying out all of the latest updates, as things are changing very rapidly during this time, and I'm very much committed to this community and helping out each and every one of you through this tough time right now. So thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Let's get into it, and I promise you I'll be here for you every single day with all of the latest updates, helping you out through this time and ultimately making sure you can get as much money as you can during this time. So that's my commitment. That's what I love to do, and I want to make sure that we can fill your pockets and your bank accounts with any and all money that's available for you during this time. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. I know a little bit of a little rant there, but anyway, let's get into it and talk about these updates. So Bernie Sanders was out with some remarks on this $3.5 trillion stimulus package, and he is very confident that all Democrats will come together and actually vote in favor of this $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, even though right now we have a couple moderate Democrats in the Senate, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, to name a couple, who are basically coming out saying, yeah, I don't know about this. We're not having a real good time here, and we're not loving this idea of spending $3.5 trillion. In fact, about a week ago or so, week and a half ago maybe, Joe Manchin was actually out and said he is willing to spend up to about $1.5 trillion. So that's about $2 trillion less than where they are currently sitting right now. However, Bernie Sanders basically said, yeah, 3.5 is the floor, and we're not going down from there. We've already made a huge concession by coming down from $6 trillion. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that whole thing goes. Also, some new information out today is basically laying out and saying, hey, Nancy Pelosi has kind of put herself in a really tough position right now, based on that they're supposed to be voting on this infrastructure bill on Monday. And we don't have the reconciliation bill ready quite yet. And these progressive Democrats in the House may come together and kind of tank the whole thing, because that's what they've said that they may do if they don't get their reconciliation bill side by side with the infrastructure bill. So again, just more drama throwing down, but like I've been saying for a while now, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if we continue to see even more drama coming out later this week as we get closer and closer to that final vote, well, as they want to vote on it Monday. So also, getting into voting, let's talk about this week. This week, the House is actually going to be hosting a few different votes. Number one, they're going to be voting to suspend the $28 trillion debt limit, the debt ceiling in this country. Remember this? We've talked about this a couple times now. It's kind of a confusing topic. I'm not going to go into much detail, but essentially the government is broke. They're out of money. Seriously, they are out of money. Just picture it like us, right? We go into our bank account and we have 24 cents or whatever it is, right? Basically, that's how the government is going to be here in a matter of just weeks. The government is flat broke. They have no money. So we've seen these warnings from the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. She has basically been out and said, hey, Congress, you need to raise the debt ceiling. Otherwise, we're going to default, and that is not going to be a good situation. So they are going to be voting to raise or suspend the debt ceiling this week, the $28 trillion debt ceiling. One quick side note about this. This is super interesting. I had no plans on talking about this, but I was reading about this last night, and I thought, wow, that is really, kind of interesting. At the same time, it seems like a huge, I don't know, it just seems totally wrong to me what this whole thing would be. But let me tell you about this. So they're actually thinking about minting. I mean, get this. Okay, so we have coins in our pocket, like quarters, dimes, nickels, stuff like this. The Treasury is considering minting a $1 trillion platinum coin. Yeah, a $1 trillion platinum coin. Then they would deposit it at the Federal Reserve, and that's how they would get basically $1 trillion. So the Federal Reserve would then issue them $1 trillion of cash. Make sense? So essentially, they're going to print a $1 trillion platinum coin, give it to the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve in exchange for that will give them $1 trillion in cash. Does that seem like monopoly? Anybody? Does that seem like phony at all to me? I mean, $1 trillion coin would be super cool. I'd love to have it. There's nothing I could do with it, right? I can't like go to the store and be like, I'd like to buy all of your stores and everything else in this whole state. You know what I mean? It would just not work. But it'd be kind of cool to see and hold and touch and smell a $1 trillion coin. But anyway, that's what they're considering doing, minting a $1 trillion platinum coin to grab $1 trillion. So anyway, I don't know. Something about that just seems really weird to me, like literally just manufacturing money out of thin air like that. I mean, they do it all the time, but it's just weird to think of that, right? Anyway, so yes, that is the first vote that's going on to raise the $28 trillion debt ceiling. That'll be going on this week, as well as there will be another vote this week to vote on a stopgap bill, otherwise known as a continuing resolution, which would ultimately keep the government funded until about early December time. Now, at the end of this month is technically the end of the fiscal year for the federal government. Therefore, they need to have a new federal budget. Surprise, surprise, they didn't do it. Yeah, it's not done yet. So, if they did not get this stopgap bill worked out, or if they did not get a new federal budget by then, the government would go into a shutdown. Well, they need to pass this stopgap bill to keep the government funded until early December so they can kick the can down the road a little bit longer and maybe get to it at some point in the future, but realistically, we'll probably be in the same situation once again in early December, because that's usually what they do, is they wait until the very last minute and then stall some more, right? I mean, we've seen it all play out many, many times, right? So yeah. All right, let's quickly talk about one more announcement that came out today. Man, there's a lot. Seriously, I'm not even talking about everything that happened today. There's a lot of things that happened today, but I'm going to talk about one more issue here. And this is states across the country right now are collectively trying to regain or recollect $12.9 billion of overpayments to unemployment benefits from 2020. Now, there are a lot of people out there. In fact, I just got done reading a story. One guy in Missouri specifically, the state is trying to go at him and get back $4,500. He was working maybe at a restaurant or like a bar or something like that, and he was unemployed as of last year, and he applied for unemployment benefits. He got the unemployment benefits. And for whatever reason, now the state is coming back to him saying, yeah, you need to repay $4,500. And he's like, dude, I don't have $4,500. I don't know what you want me to do. So anyway, they're trying to collect $12.9 billion, nearly $13 billion of what they are saying is overpayments. So, I mean, seriously, kick them while they're down, why don't you? Seriously, I mean, that is like a really bad situation. So many people are hurting right now. And don't get me wrong, it's not just unemployed people. It is people all across the board that are really struggling right now. And then, of course, they come back and say, hey, give us some of that money back. I mean, unbelievable, right? But not really surprising at the same time. Now, I know that I'm probably going to get some questions on this. I want to throw this down there just really quickly. Some of you may be reaching out asking, does this mean we might have to worry about paying back the stimulus checks? No, don't worry about it. Seriously. For the most part, 99% of people who got stimulus checks last year or this year, you're going to be totally fine. I would not worry about it. Again, I don't know your exact situation, so I can't give you solid 100% exact yes or no advice. I can't give you advice at all. I'm just simply saying the vast majority of people, like 99+% of people who got stimulus checks, will not need to pay them back. So I wouldn't worry about it, okay? So especially most of you watching these videos and part of this community, low income, fixed income, yeah, you're good to go. Seriously, please don't worry about it. Anyway, this is what we have as of right now. Again, not a whole lot of like specific updates on any money or stimulus checks, things like this, but just kind of a mixed bag with a lot of weird stuff going on today. By the way, the stock market got slapped around a little bit today too, down nearly 2%. So yeah, that on top of many other things. But we can talk about that in another video. I want to wrap it up right there. But again, I just wanted to come back, lay some of these weird updates out there for you, let you know what's going on. And of course, I will continue watching everything closely, as I always do. And I'll be back for you to give you any further updates as needed. So thanks again. I appreciate it. Subscribe down below. Share the videos with your friends, family, social media. And definitely go back and check out some of my other nearly 1,600 videos, as we have a lot of really good stuff right here on the channel. Thanks again. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again later.